May 22nd. Experts say it's an AI-generated picture. It was shared on RT, so former Russia Today channel, via Twitter and also other media outlets. It was discussed worldwide. Around the time of publication, the shares at US stock exchange fell briefly. Well, though there's not known if there is an interconnection between the two incidents. But what does that mean? Just a simple picture. Well, we all know it's a fake that could have been photoshopped. I'll show you another example that is 29 years old. So you probably all know this Oscar-winning movie, Forrest Gump, starring Tom Hanks in various historical scenes that were taken on camera. Here you see the famous scene, Forrest Gump saying to JFK, "I gotta pay." So video and picture manipulation probably as old as pictures and videos themselves. But what has changed since then? Why do I show you these two examples? In the past, manipulation of audio, video, pictures were difficult, was expensive, could only be done by professionals. Now with the AI tools, it's easy, it's cheap. And given the social media channels, it can be distributed within seconds worldwide. So here you see on the spider diagram, you see 4 categories. So we have video, audio, picture, tools, and here for text. So here students probably are familiar with ChatGPT that was released last November. So maybe one of you have written already an essay or two with it. So that's the next word predictor, the one that estimates the most likely continuation of the sentence. So with those tools, it depends on the goals so that you use it constructively or deconstructively. I would like to talk now about the dangers of deconstructive use, whether it's a journey to discovery or if it's a threat. So why do we find fakes? So that could be because of money, but that could be also because someone likes to convey a message. You can influence opinions, decisions, attitudes, or selections. So every aspect of life. It can also cause confusion. And let's be honest, who likes to be fooled? It is not fair to mislead someone deliberately or think about to reinterpret historical incidents on historical pictures. So it has consequences for public opinion, for our democracy. Just imagine 100 easily AI-generated letters to a people representative, or 100 easily AI-generated readers' letters to a newspaper editing. That can also change perception. It might lead to the general belief that everything is not true anyway. And that's actually why I'm here. That is my business. My currency is credibility. I work as a freelance journalist for national newspapers and magazines, and I often encounter AI-related topics, career, education, business, startups with AI-created business ideas. But beyond my main profession, I also teach students how to debunk fake news. And I'm passionate about it. I think it's crucial to draw the attention, and I like to help others to identify fakes. Because as a journalist, I have to find or I have to check sources all the time. I have to make sure that the content I'm delivering is correct, and I have to filter out fakes. So now with the AI tool, as I said, they're easy and cheap ones, we might find more fakes. I just recently attended a workshop at the German news agency DPA, so that is the Deutsche Presseagentur. That is a German equivalent to Reuters, to Associated Press. Because as a journalist, I have to keep up with the technology. And with that workshop, I could deepen my knowledge. But only a small proportion get trained. So the wider population is lacking competence. Just think, I mean, you might believe a photo is a photo, but a photo is taken with a camera, with light and lenses. A photo claims to illustrate reality. A photo has a documentary entitlement. I brought you here a tweet of an American creative director. In that tweet, he wrote down the prompts he used in order to create the AI-generated picture. So we talk about pictures, not about photos, because those are created with prompts. So for that, you don't need to know how to handle a camera. There are also people calling it promptography. And with that, you can also generate pics of people who do not exist. So here we see a sweet little girl reading with her father a book. But this can be also used for other purposes. So see here, I brought an example that was posted by a representative of a German right-wing party. He was quoted saying that he loved that technology because with this, you don't have to bother about rights regarding one's own image. Here you can emotionalize. You can serve stereotypes. You can try to interpret reality. So far, and that was also said in the workshop, the technology is not very elaborate so far, but might be a matter of months. And it will be harder and harder to distinguish between real and fake ones. And fakes have to withstand only the first look. But there's hope. We can use logic. We can use common sense. And I'll show you now some examples where we will apply a so-called inner and outer logic. So here you probably are all familiar with this one here. So showing the current Pope Francisco in a puffed jacket. So let's apply inner logic. So that means what can be seen on that picture. So we see the Pope, but we don't see guards. We don't see those Swiss guards with their helmets, no security, but we see two individuals somehow in the background. We see the Pope walking briskly, which contradicts a little bit the coverage we had lately from his kind of bad health status, that he was depending on a walking stick, that he was even using a wheelchair. And we also see glitches on the picture. So see here on his glasses, there's a right frame missing. Also see his right hand here, looks a little awkward. So that's because still for IA, it's difficult to depict the right amount of body parts. So still you might see hands with 6 fingers or a jaw with 20 teeth. Or they have also difficulties with ears, so still not that elaborate. But then here, let's apply outer logic. So let's think about when was the picture taken? Where was a picture taken? Who took it? At which occasion? And if that's a semi-official area, so there might be other pedestrians also taking pictures, videos, uploading them on platforms. So just think of Twitter. You might go hashtag Pope, hashtag puffer jacket. You might find other pictures from different angles. So please, think critically, especially before sharing. But IA tools, as we saw on the spider diagram, also can be found in the audio category. So here we have an IA voice scam published by an American news outlet that's about pretending that a family member died. So for such a voice scam, there's a 1-minute voice sample needed that can be found on platforms. Still, what's said is not fully elaborated, so it's still difficult for complex sentence structures, still difficult for emphasis, for emotion. Here, for example, I brought an example of an IA manipulated video. So that is a still. So no, we're not going to watch the video now. That is Jordan Peterson, a Canadian scientist, one of the most famous and controversial of our times. And if we would watch the video now, you would see that the audio track and the video track are not 100% synchronized. So he would move the jaws in a way that he is not really articulating the words you would hear. So there are horrible purposes for such a technology. Just think of revenge porn or other purposes. So that is tricky, but still not very elaborate. So you still see typical distortions, weird pixel distributions, unnatural blurring. But be prepared, be sensible. So far, there was no major incident that a journalist had fallen into an AI-generated trap of a newsworthy person, but that still can happen. I brought you here an example of a picture that was viewed over 1 million times across platforms that was supposedly taken during the visit of the Chinese President Xi Jinping in March this year in Moscow while visiting the Russian President Putin. I'm not going to discuss now inner logic, so if these are chairs and carpet of the Kremlin, but just let's think of the outer logic. I mean, who could have taken that one? And would that individual have been allowed to publish such a gesture of submission? Experts say that it's AI generated, but just think about what is the intention of it? Who would be interested in making us believe this? And note, be prepared that we all believe things that we expect. Though those AI tools are still a new branch of technology, there are requests already that AI-generated content should be classified, that there should be proof of authenticity, but it's not available so far. So far, just requests for it. I brought you another example that was published by a Russian Kremlin journalist on Telegram. So this is also a still of a video that was published on May 8th. And supposedly that the Soviet flag was raised on the building of the Reichstag. What was so special about it was that such a video was published from different angles. So there were several videos existing that were taken supposedly from different angles. So a little bit to refute the suspicion that what I explained with the photo of the Pope. But an expert say that is also an AI-generated one. So ask yourself, what is the intention of this? So is it a threat? in a way, I would say. So I would like to ask you to remain critical. It's not about doubting everything like conspiracy storytellers do, but be open-minded. Make your own judgment. It's not always possible to have 100% proof if it's AI generated or not. There's no one-size-fits-all solution for it. Give it a second look. Enlarge a picture. Think about the inner and outer logic. And if you find indications that it could be fake, then hands off. Don't get drawn in a cycle of sharing fakes and spreading messages with bad intentions. Thank you.